Hi and welcome to Stamp Academy. Today's project is a Tag-A-Bag gift card holder, and when you pull on the happy birthday greeting, the card comes out, and then when you pull on the bow, it pulls up the gift card. So it's a cute little project. It's made with one of our bags. Your PDF is located below the video, and we're going to get started with one of the bags. The first thing you're going to do is turn the bag upside down so that the seam is facing you. And then what you're going to do is fold up 1 inch. So that's basically just this bottom edge here. So you're just going to fold that up, and what that's going to do is give you a nice clean edge. And then what you're going to do is put some sticky strip on there to secure it. And again, you're just going to remove the adhesive backing to the sticky strip and then just secure. So now you're going to turn it over so that the seam is in the back, and you're going to fold up from the bottom about 2.5 inches. So I'm going to use the side of my grid paper so that I know when I'm up about 2.5 inches. If you want to just make a little pencil mark with a ruler, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be exact, and my grid paper works every time. So I'm going to line up the sides, and I'm going to give it another good crease. This time we're going to put the sticky strip on the sides because this is going to form the gift card pocket. So you don't want it fully adhered, just the sides. You're going to remove the adhesive, which exposes the sticky side of the sticky strip, and then you're going to fold that back up and then just rub the edges with your bone folder. So now you have this great little pocket here, and the rest is all about embellishing. We're going to begin by using the large scallop edgelet and our piece of Whisper white cardstock. So what you're going to do is just put that down there at the bottom. If you have a magnetic platform, that's great. If not, just use your multi-purpose platform on tab 2. And you're going to cover this with another cutting plate, and you're going to run it through the Big Shot. Next, you're going to take your multi-purpose platform on tab 1. And you're going to be embossing this with the Delicate Designs embossing folder. And that's one of these smaller ones. And this has a scalloped edge that matches the scalloped edge on the framelit that we just used. And you know that if the Stampin' Up! Logo is facing forward, you're going to emboss forward, and that's what we want to do. But what I want to do is make sure that my little curved edges match the edges on my paper. So I'm going to just do that by looking right through my embossing folder. Once you've lined that up, just cover it with another cutting plate and run it through the Big Shot. When it comes out, you have that textured impression right on there, and this is the one that's punched forward, and this is actually the back side of it. You can use either one. Next, I'm going to be using the little eyelet border from Finishing Touches and my Melon Mambo cardstock. This is my magnetic platform. Again, if you don't have one, you can certainly use your multi-purpose platform. Just use it on tab 2. Cover it with another cutting plate and run it through the Big Shot. When this comes out, you're going to have this great eyelet piece, which you're going to use to just put right across the top of your scalloped piece. And I'm going to do that by putting a strip of Tombow liquid glue across the top. And you'll notice this is a very thin strip because this is very sticky and you don't want it to squeeze out all over. So I'm just going to line this up with my edges here, and I'm going to give it a little rub. Now if it's not exactly lined up, you can take your paper snips and just snip off whatever part is sticking out. And then we're going to put this aside to dry. Next, you're going to take your Blossom Flower Punch, and you're going to line that flower up. And you do that by taking these sharp points here, and you're going to just shimmy the flower around until you have those points in the right place, and then you're going to pop it out. Then you're going to take your bone folder, and you're going to curl in on the petals of one of the flowers, and that's going to give it some nice dimension. So you have them pulling inward like this. You're going to put a couple of glue dots on the bottom, and then you're going to just adhere it over the other flower. You're going to take a piece of gumball green cardstock, and you're going to put that in there just so that it's going to cut out 2 of the leaves. So I'm just going to push that in just far enough to get 2 and pop it out. You might have to take your paper trimmer and just trim off anything that's extra. And then what I'm going to do is just put a couple of glue dots on my leaves here, and I'm going to put them underneath so that they're sticking out of my flower. Now we're going to jazz this up by taking our 7/8 inch scallop punch, and we're going to pop out a little scallop. And then we're going to take one of the designer Very Vintage buttons, and first we're going to adhere the scallop to the center using glue dots. Then we're going to adhere the button using glue dots. And then we're going to take our Daffodil Delight ribbon, and we're just going to tie a little tiny knot right here in the edge. Take your ribbon scissors and cut it at an angle. And then you're going to take another glue dot and you're going to just glue that knot right there in the center of your button. Next, I've mounted the Happy Birthday to You stamp from Label Love, and this stamp has the matching punch. And what we're going to do is color this in with multicolor markers. So we're going to be using a bunch of them. So this is Melon Mambo, Pumpkin Pie, Tempting Turquoise, Daffodil Delight, and Gumball Green. So we're going to do the outside here first in Tempting Turquoise, and this is called the omitting technique, but it's also done to color in different colors on your stamp. So I'm going to color in one of the P's. I'm going to do Melon Mambo. I'm going to do my H in Melon Mambo, and I'm also going to do the words to you. And usually you start with your lightest color, which in this case would be Melon Mambo. And you do that so that if you accidentally color over something, you're not ruining your marker and then it just gets colored over in the correct color. So I'm going to just do Birthday in yellow as well. I'm going to do the Y in Pumpkin Pie and the P in Gumball Green. Once I have all of my colors done, I'm going to huff on the stamp and then stamp it right onto the paper. And that's going to give you this multicolored image. You're going to turn it over and you're going to line it up in the punch until the paper is lined up so that it's matching the design, and then pop it out. You're going to put some adhesive on the back of your greeting, and you're going to adhere it to your 2x2 Melon Mambo cardstock, and then just take your paper snips and then just carefully follow around the design so that it looks as if it was punched out using the same punch. It's pretty easy to do if you move the cardstock instead of the scissors so that you can just manipulate your way around those little scallops. You're going to be using this border from the Mosaic Madness stamp set and some Gumball Green ink. And you're just going to ink this whole border, and then you're going to line it up on your cardstock. I like to line up my paper on my grid paper so that I know that that's straight, and then I come in and line this up. Once you're pretty sure that your alignment is correct, you're going to go ahead and stamp, and that's going to give you a little border on your cardstock. Put some adhesive on the back of that, and then just go ahead and layer it right onto your Tempting Turquoise cardstock. Now, to adhere the greeting to the back of your piece of cardstock, you're going to use a piece of sticky strip because that's what the person is going to use to lift the card out, and the last thing that you want is a card that falls apart before the person even gets a chance to read it. So I'm going to just put this right up here toward the corner and adhere. So I'm going to start decorating this. I'm first going to slip my card right in here, and then I'm going to put my border onto my package using sticky strip again. So I'm going to put a thin piece of sticky strip right across the top of my piece, but I'm very careful that it's not going over because remember, we need this for our pocket. I'm going to peel the sticky strip backing off, and then I'm very carefully going to line this up before I allow it to adhere. Once I'm sure it's straight, I'm going to give it a little push, and then I'm going to go back to my flower, and I'm going to use some sticky strip to adhere that as well. Now this flower has a lot of elements on it, which is one of the reasons why I like to use sticky strip for it. And when I do this, what I like to do is make an X in sticky strip. So just remove the adhesive backing, and then you're going to take a little piece on the other side and then just cut that as well. And then just remove the adhesive backing from that piece. And then you're going to line that up over your project. Now sometimes when you're doing all of this maneuvering, this gets a little pushed down. So you can come back in with your bone folder and just score those edges up a little bit again. And that's going to give nice dimension to your flower. So we're going to finish this off, and I'm going to show you how to create this little bow. So to make the little paper clip bow, we're going to take our Designer Series paper, and this is a 1/2 inch by 5 inches. We're just going to mark the 2.5 inch mark on our Designer Series paper. You're going to take a little piece of sticky strip and just cover that mark that you just made. Remove the backing to the sticky strip, and then very carefully come in and bring each of those edges right into that line that you created and adhere. You're then going to take a 1-inch square punch and your little strip of Designer Series paper, and you're going to line that up in there and then just nip that little edge off to create a banner. And this is 1/2 inch by 3 inches. This works no matter what size you use. So you're just going to come in again and just snip off that edge to get the banner. And then you're going to adhere that to your sticky strip. You're going to take another little piece of sticky strip and then just put that on top of your bow that you just created, and you're going to peel off the backing and then just adhere that right on top of your banner. You're going to take a 1/2 inch circle punch and you're going to come right to the center and then just put a little oval of that in there and snip it out. And this is going to create that little indentation in the center of your bow. And then do the same thing on the other side. So now you have this little indentation, and I'm going to put a glue dot right there on the center on both sides. I'm going to adhere the very top of my paper clip, and this is the top part, not the part that has to adhere to the card, the gift card. And then I'm going to touch this part of the paper clip to a glue dot, so that the paper is going to stick to that now. Then I'm going to take that little piece and I'm going to just put that on top, and I'm going to pull it around the back, and it's going to adhere to the back. And then I'm going to put another glue dot back here, and I'm going to adhere this part as well. And then I'm just going to come in with my paper snip and just snip that little piece off. And that's going to give you a cute little paper bow attached to a paper clip. You're going to take your paper clip and attach it to your gift card, and then you're going to slide that into the little pocket that you created, and make sure that it sticks up a little bit so the person knows that there's something in there. So that's your project for today. If you have any questions for us, we are at mail@stampedacademy.com.